So thank you everybody for joining this webinar. We're really excited to this webinar. Today we're going to talk about the secret to impactful employee rewards and how to elevate your employee experience with experiential rewards. So a really fun topic we're going to talk about today. And let me just go through the next slide. So before we dive into the introductions and the rest of this webinar, I wanted to set the stage for the topic today. We've been seeing some interesting trends in the world of work to do with the priorities people have now and what they value as an employee and also for their employees. So I wanted to share some stats with everyone in the chat. And also, if anybody has a comment, please type your questions in the chat, your comments. But I'm going to share these stats for you so you can resonate on a personal level and what you think about this. So first off, 47% of people are more likely to put family and personal life over work than they were before the pandemic. I can almost guarantee this is a very important matter after the pandemic. Like, you spent the whole day, pretty much every single hour of your life with your family. So that was a huge like milestone that happened to everyone. So second step for you, 53% of people are more likely to prioritize their health and well-being over work than before the pandemic. Also, I would almost guarantee anybody in this webinar would agree with this. Like, our well-being, it's such a really important thing to take into consideration. Of course, it's you need to take care of yourself, right? Another stat for you, 63% of job seekers say that work-life balance is a top priority. So I completely agree with this. You know, you need to have a very good balance with your work. Of course, you're getting paid to do something, but you need to take into consideration it's your life, it's your well-being. You need to be healthy. You know, that's why it's so important to have such things like experiential rewards in your workplace. Also, many employees are looking beyond their day job for creative opportunities. So 70% of the Gen Z and millennials are considering a side project or business in the next year. I could say that there's a lot of entrepreneurs upcoming. Like right now, I would think it's the era of entrepreneurs. Like, everybody has a great idea and want to do a side project or a business as soon as possible. I'm part of that. So yeah, a lot of creativity. And then also, besides pay, the top 3 aspects of work that employees value are a positive work culture, mental health and well-being with benefits, and also a sense of purpose of meaning. If you could please share your comments in the chat box, but I would say this is something really important in your day-to-day life as well. So moving on, a little bit of myself. So a pleasure to meet everyone in this webinar. I'm an account manager for Bucketlist Rewards. I have some experience in customer service, sales, account management, and marketing. I'm really passionate about helping companies build great workplace cultures through the use of rewards and recognition. I do believe that a company will operate to its full potential, will not operate to its full potential unless employees are happy. So I'm a huge advocate of employee happiness, well-being. Of course, I'm part of that. Outside of work, I really enjoy playing video games, especially Xbox. I love hiking, watching movies and TV series. And other hobbies I have are tennis, scuba diving, and exploring just new restaurants around town. Whenever I get a friend tell me what a new restaurant I should visit. And one of the items I have in my bucket list is scuba diving in El Nido, Palawan, the Philippines. So hopefully I'm going to do that sometime soon. I'm really excited to introduce our speakers today. So Jess, she's the Senior Manager of SMB Sales at Tango Rewards. Her media and digital sales background working with small and medium businesses prepared her to build this customer channel with Tango over the last 4 years. So she got really into understanding these customers' needs, pain points. This has allowed Tango to provide more valuable solutions to these customers, primarily via Rewards Genius application and choice of products. At Tango, Jess drives revenue through lead generation in SDR roles and customer acquisition in the SMB customer channel. She is passionate about service, teamwork, and podcasts. And one of Jess's bucket list items is get a reservation at Noma before it closes. Jess, do you want to give a little bit of context on that one? I know we talked about that.
Yeah, Noma is a restaurant in Denmark. It has the reputation of being the best restaurant in the world. I'd always imagined I would have the opportunity to celebrate some big life event at some point down the line. But the chef announced that they're closing their doors in 2024. So I am hopeful. I'm hopeful to get a reservation sometime before then.
Yes, hopefully. I didn't
Hopefully.
know. Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Jess. And we also have Rebecca Chen. She's our amazing content and community manager here at Bucketlist Rewards. She's really passionate about all things community, as well as an employee happiness and well-being. She brings her background in mental health in software as a service and technology into the HR tech space to better understand the needs of today's organizations and their employees. And on her bucket list, it's check out the Maritimes. Becca, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, over the past few years, I really want to check out the Maritimes. So on the East Coast where Charlottetown is, Halifax, I really want to go see those red sand beaches and try the seafood that they're so famous for. So if anybody has any tips on what to see or do while I make my way over there, just let me know. I really need some suggestions.
Awesome. Excellent. So moving forward, as I mentioned, thank you everybody for joining. Today's webinar is being presented to you by Bucketlist Rewards, the #1 employee recognition platform. We're really excited to be here with you today to talk about experiential rewards. We're also excited to partner with Tango, the rewards and payment people. Tango allows you to order, send, track, and track rewards from a catalog of more than 1,000 digital gift cards, prepaid cards, and charitable donations. And for everyone to know, I use this all the time. I really love Tango. So I'm really happy to joining this webinar with them. Before we get rolling, I would like to touch on a few housekeeping items for the webinar. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to notice there's a few buttons. So the first one I would like to draw the attention to is the chat button. Feel free to engage and participate within the chat. We will be constantly reading all those comments, notes, and if at any moment you're having any technical issues, we also may be able to assist you through chat. The next button is the Q&A. As the presentation is going, feel free to submit any question and that you would like to have answered. We will do our best to get to as many questions as possible by the end of the webinar. Also, during the course of the presentation, I'm going to be pulling up a few polls, and we would love your participation. Your feedback, it's one of the most important things in this webinar, so please feel free to participate on those. Please note that when we share the poll results on the screen, they are anonymous and aggregate numbers. And at the conclusion of the presentation, everyone's going to earn professional development credits for your participation and engagement. So be sure to stick around for the end to earn those. And then finally, the event is being recorded and it will be shared after we finish the webinar today. So those are the housekeeping items. And moving forward, just one first icebreaker question, and please type in the chat box what the answer for this would be. So what do you think would be an experience on your bucket list? To give you a little bit of context, mine is scuba diving in El Nido, Philippines. And I mentioned that before. I'm a huge fan of scuba diving. I live in Vancouver, by the way, for everyone to know. So scuba diving doesn't happen really often. So yeah. That's mine. Jess, Becca, we already discussed your bucket list items. Let's see what the chat box has to say. Also, Kristen.
Shark diving. What is shark diving, Kaylee?
Wow. Yeah.
Very adventurous experience.
Yes.
We're looking to cross off the bucket list. Maybe the last one. Just saying.
Totally. Jennifer, go to Japan. You're leaving tomorrow. And 2 nights are being paid for with my bucket list points via hotels.com. That's amazing, Jennifer. That's amazing. And I hope you have an amazing trip in Japan. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. Kaylee, it's in a cage of the East Coast with the sharks. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I would think about that. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for typing in your questions. Sorry, your answers. Now, moving forward with the agenda. So here's the things we're going to be covering today. First off, what experiential rewards are and why cultural leaders should utilize them. What makes experiences so meaningful and powerful? How to use experiential rewards as a tool to engage with your team and improve the employee experience. And then finally, some key takeaways and questions and answers at the end. We'll also love to hear your questions in the chat box, so feel free to type them in there. So now I'm going to hand it over to Jess. And yeah, thank you, Jess.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. I know the concept of experiential rewards may be new for a lot of you guys. We actually received some advanced questions asking to define it, so I wanted to level set with exactly that. Experiential rewards get recipients to do or experience something rather than just spend money on material goods. They help create lasting memories through incredible experiences, like some of the ones that we've been talking about in the chat. Tours, skydiving, dream vacations, concerts, team outings, checking something off of a bucket list. These types of rewards don't have to break the bank. They can be as simple as giving an employee movie tickets or $50 toward the airline gift card of their choice.
Amazing. Thank you, Jess, for that. Now moving forward to the next slide.
Yeah, we've got that first poll question here for y'all. So does your company currently give out experiential rewards? We'd love to know. Once you have had an opportunity to engage with the poll on this one, we would love to hear more from you in the chat about the reasons that these are provided to you all. Common reasons that we work with at Tango are anniversaries, professional milestones, birthdays, hitting goals. If there's anything outside of that list that you all have earned a reward, an experiential reward for, we'd love to hear it.
And I just launched the poll. A lot of answers. Thank you, everyone, for answering that poll. I'm just going to leave it up a couple more seconds to receive your answers. Perfect. A lot.
It's just split. Can't wait for you to share it so everyone can see how we're all answering.
Totally. Second, couple more seconds.
Giving others meaningful, positive feedback. Yes, we love peer-to-peer rewards.
So surprisingly, for the answers, most people said that they do not have experiential rewards. So in the company, so that's very interesting. And I would definitely say that's a really important component of any company to have. So, thank you, everyone, for that feedback. I'm going to be ending the poll right now. Awesome.
I just shared the results, so let me know if that doesn't actually come up on screen, but that was just
it disappeared already, but I saw like almost half of the people in the room have not had the opportunity to engage with an experiential reward as a recipient from their company.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
hopefully this presentation today will help with that, or
exactly. Yeah. Glad you're here to learn about it so that we can figure out how to implement this within your organization. So if while we are learning that the majority of you guys don't have this experience within your company today, have you ever received or experienced someone else receive an experiential reward? Please feel free to use the chat to talk about what that looked like. We have some examples from my coworkers and contacts here later in the deck, but interested in the types of experiential rewards you might have had some engagement with.
Amazing.
A wine fridge.
Ooh.
Let me see.
That's such a great gift or reward for a wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
Totally. Excellent. Thank you for everyone sharing in the chat. Now moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. So as you all are here to learn about implementing these in your organization, why should culture leaders utilize experiential rewards? Why should they do exactly that? We have a few compelling reasons. Let's talk about non-cash rewards first. So experiential rewards are far more memorable than traditional cash or physical rewards. In fact, recent data challenges the effectiveness of cash, calling out the importance of sending meaningful rewards that can leave a lasting impression. According to the Incentive Research Foundation, research suggests that when people receive a cash reward, they tend to treat it like salary and use it for forgettable things. paying the electric bill, for example. Once that direct deposit hits your checking account, it doesn't feel like it has a special purpose, or it's not really connected to the reason you earned it. So on average, 65% of employees prefer non-cash incentives. Positive associations are another reason why you might want to implement these in your organization. Not only are these experiences preferable, they also give employees the freedom, encouragement, and flexibility to do things they normally wouldn't. With these types of rewards, employers have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression by offering employees something they truly want. They also help employees tie positive memories to their employers, which, as you can imagine, can greatly increase loyalty. And last on this slide, but definitely not least, is increased engagement. Memorable, personalized rewards help employees feel their work is valued, which helps nurture employee engagement. Employees don't want another branded mug to add to their collection. They appreciate personalized rewards that allow them the flexibility to celebrate their accomplishments in a way that's meaningful to them specifically. So with experiential rewards, employees have the opportunity to leave a lasting impression. And as I mentioned, we have a few examples of experiential rewards that have been experienced by Tango and Bucketlist. So you'll see first here, we have a photo of Jackie on a trip to Mexico. Like many companies, Tango's holiday party was canceled in 2021 because of COVID. To recognize employees more safely, our leadership team sent each Tango employee a $500 reward link. Jackie knew she wanted to spend hers on something special that she wouldn't normally do. So right straight from Jackie's mouth, I ended up spending my $500 reward link on an Airbnb gift card, which I used to plan a trip to Mexico. My husband and I decided to take a road trip with friends through the Baja California Peninsula. We started in El Pescadero and made our way to Todos Santos and La Paz. It was such a cool adventure with some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. I'm really grateful for the experience. Flight lessons is another really unique and exciting experiential reward that we were offered an example of. One Bucketlist user, Pamela, redeemed her points for a flight lesson over Detroit. She had always wanted to take a flight lesson and would talk about it often. She just didn't really know where to start or how to go about fulfilling this dream. So Pamela said, having a recognition program that lays it all out for you makes it so easy. I don't know how to go about learning to fly a plane. So when I saw this option to be able to redeem my recognition points for a flight lesson, I thought, this is my opportunity. And it was easy as one simple click. The experience in itself was just amazing and definitely fulfilled a bucket list item of mine. And then we also have touring Scotland and Ireland up here, along with peer-to-peer rewards, holiday rewards, and work from home stipends. Tango has also implemented a spot bonus program. Last year, Ellen used a spot bonus to go all out on her vacation to Scotland and Ireland. Ellen said that she redeemed her reward link for a prepaid card, which she used to book a few tours around Scotland and Ireland. She'd already had the 3-week trip planned, but this reward allowed her to splurge on a few new experiences she wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise. With this reward, she was able to see Loch Lomond, Stirling Castle, the Wicklow Mountains, the Cliffs of Moher. It was an unforgettable experience. And she was so grateful that Tango made her dream vacation possible. Lots of great testimony about how impactful experiential rewards can be.
Now we're going to pass this to Becca to discuss of how we support the whole person with experiential rewards.
Amazing. Well, thanks, Jess, for sharing all those stories. Love hearing that. So here, the second reason that experiential rewards are just such a great tool is because it's something that supports the whole person. We as employees, we're more than just the work we do, more than just that cog in the corporate machine. We all have different roles, interests, hobbies, goals, and passions outside of work. The joys and stressors that we feel perhaps as parents, siblings, partners, foodies, or even a scuba diver in El Nido, Rod, looking at you. Those parts of ourselves just don't disappear as soon as we go to work and clock in. And so I really believe that our work and our personal selves shouldn't be treated as separate entities and shouldn't be kind of viewed separately. And that to be at our happiest is to give attention to all parts of us. And when I think of work-life balance, I know we talked about this prior in this session. I think it's more than just about the time that we're physically spending at work versus the time we're not at work anymore. I think it's also about the brain space that we're allocating to all of these different things, the attention we're giving it, and also the effort that we're putting into the things that bring us joy. And I think that experiential rewards really helps us focus on the importance of giving ourselves those opportunities to go around and do the things that keep us engaged with ourselves, our dreams, and all of the wonderful people that we're surrounded by. And lastly, experiential rewards, I think, really helps us keep our personal goals and our passions just top of mind. I think really often in our society, especially, we put our careers really high up and often above most things in our lives. And so we end up using it to define ourselves and our self-worth as well. And one time I was reading an article about whenever we introduce ourselves to someone new, inevitably the topic of work just comes up. And Jess, Rod, I'm wondering, does that happen to you often when you meet a new friend? You're suddenly just talk about work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and totally. I feel that we're more than just our work. And so as a side note, I'm really trying to break this habit of asking people about their jobs, like the first 30 minutes of meeting them, and focusing more on their hobbies and interests and what makes them them. And so I really just feel that experiential rewards are such a wonderful way for employers to show employees that their whole person is valued, seen, appreciated, and cared for. So if you don't mind hopping to the next slide for me there, Rod, we've included some examples of how experiential rewards can support the whole person. And real quick, from the left, this is Rod's reward. She was able to redeem for an electric drum set. Such a sweet story. Her friends for her birthday ended up buying her a set of drum lessons for her birthday. And so she was having a lot of fun learning this new skill, but didn't have the means to practice it at home. And she loved it so much. And so with this reward, it was just super meaningful for her to be able to do the things she loved at home. And since it's electric, it wouldn't bother her family or her neighbors. And I thought that was really cool. The middle one here, Tom's gigantic Titanic Lego ship. It was such an experience for him. It took him 3 weeks to build and ended up being over 1 meter in length. And there's cross-section in it. You can see the different rooms. That's really cool. And the last one here, one of our Bucketlist end users recently redeemed for a class on how to write fiction. And I just thought that was really fun. So to wrap up this section about the whole person, I just want to end off with a couple of different points. So number one, I do think that everyone's whole person looks different. So everyone needs different things to support their whole person and to thrive. For some people, it's music. For others, it's learning these skills that they've always wanted to, or trying the new things on their list. If you have something in particular that supports your whole person, feel free to drop it in the chat. We always love talking about those things. And as people are doing that, number two, I think we can really challenge ourselves to think outside the box when it comes to experiential rewards. I saw that some of you had submitted Q&A questions prior to the session asking about the importance of gift cards and cash rewards and all of that good stuff. And I really do believe that gift cards with an intentional purpose behind them, based on something you know will be meaningful to that particular person, can be a super powerful experiential gift. And I just wanted to share a quick example. Rod, this is a story you told me once, actually, so I'll ask you to fill in the gaps, but essentially an employee was given a gas card. And so on the surface, it just looks like a gift card, basically cash, nothing special, and gas is something that we all got to use, right? But the intention behind it was that the employee hadn't been able to visit their mother for a really, really long time. And so the intention behind it was to kind of allow them to make this trip to go visit a loved one and it just became super meaningful to them. Rod, did you want to add to the story?
Yeah, no, for sure. And this is actually happening to me this coming weekend. So my mom is going to come visit here to Vancouver next weekend. So like for me, the best gift I could ever receive would be at the moment a gas card, just the gas card, just so that we could go around the city, just as Becca mentioned. There could be 1 million ideas when it comes to an experience, but what you really want and need at the moment, it's what's really meaningful to you. So there's not a correct reward or the right one. It's the one you really want. So I know Jess mentioned flexibility before. So that's a huge part of this as well. So,
Thanks for sharing, Rod. I love that you also get that experience. So it looks like gas cards could be a really great experiential reward, actually, for anyone who's looking for ideas. Perfect. So we'll jump to the next slide here. The third reason that experiential rewards are so great is because employees can really involve their loved ones in the celebration if they choose to do so. And we're seeing studies that saying that 25% of employees say that they would love to share their rewards with friends and families. And we do see this a lot at Bucketlist. I will show you on the next slide, but there's tons of people who like to redeem for family movie passes, tours, and membership things around the city, like zoos and aquariums. And it's just such a fun way to spend time with your family. I really do think that it's awesome to reward your employees in a way that lets them share the experience with their biggest cheerleaders. Often, I do think family, friends, loved ones, they're all super integral to our success, both in our professional lives and our personal lives. So it's so great to be able to share that reward with our biggest cheerleaders. And of course, lastly, if you treat your employees to such unforgettable experiences, they'll definitely remember it fondly for years to come and place the employer up on a pedestal. And there's also good social media fodder there as well for employer branding. I'll definitely be sharing a couple stories on this next slide as well. So on the top left here, this is me taking my family with one of my experiential rewards to go to a local pizzeria that's quite famous for their lobster pizza. And so this one also had like really big prawns, a heap of smoked salmon on it. Does anyone want to take a guess as to how much this was on their menu? And Rod, you know the answer, so don't say anything. But Jess, do you want to guess?
It's up there. It looks incredible, by the way. But yeah, a whole lobster. I'm guessing that's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it was about $100. And so I could never fathom spending that much money on one pizza, even though it's on my foodie bucket list. It's been on my list for years. I just kind of accepted the fact that I would never get around to trying it. And so when the opportunity came up with the bucket list rewards, I took it, and I took my family to this decadent pizza place, and it's been 6 months. They still talk about it. It's very cute. My parents tell all their friends about it. And so in their mind, they'll always remember Bucketlist as that super fun company that treated the Chen family to that crazy lobster pizza that we would have never gotten for ourselves. And just, yeah, as a side note, I saw this fun statistic the other day too about how 2 in 5 people, they create bucket lists, but over 56% of them don't actually do the things on their list just due to financial costs. I was definitely going to fall into that boat. So how powerful is it that my employer was able to kind of help me out with that and make that one bucket list item come true? And I think in some cases too, bucket list items aren't particularly expensive, especially compared to the alternative like cash rewards that might have been budgeted to give out as well. Moving on, anyhow, happy baby in the middle. Lindsay used her reward to get a national parks land pass for her family, and her daughter is just so excited to be included in on the fun. And on the right here, Mike used his to surprise his father on his birthday with a ride on a steam train. A flight was involved. Grandkids were also involved, and so their family will definitely remember this for a long time as well. And the bottom row here, as I mentioned previously, a lot of people really like redeeming for passes to like the aquarium, doing some tours. I believe this was the Lost Caverns, and also some dance classes with their partners. Such a fun way to try new hobbies together. So, oh no, I love this idea that employers can help whole families create great memories together. I'm just gonna take a moment to look in the chat before I pass it back to you, Jess.
Yeah.
Haley. Great question. We'll save this one for the Q&A actually, if you don't mind popping it into that Q&A box. And Melissa, amazing. Hopefully get to go one day. Awesome, Jess, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, so you can involve families and loved ones in experiential rewards. Another idea is involving whole teams in shared experiences. Team bonding, experiential rewards are great for team bonding. They can be crucial in building strong relationships and close-knit teams within the workplace. According to Incentive and Motivation, 20% of employees say they would even like to share an experience with their team as a reward. These can help build friendships. These bonding moments can help employees build those relationships within the company. According to Wild Goose, 57% of people say that having a close friend at work makes work more enjoyable. 22% say they are more productive with friends in the workplace, and 21% say friendship at work makes them feel more creative. I can vouch for all of that. I've made a lot of close friends at work throughout my career, and definitely makes a difference. Company culture is also positively impacted through these experiences. Creating a culture this way and strong working relationships empowers employees to be happier, more productive, and excited to work every day. A positive company culture is essential to employee engagement and retention. These experiential rewards do not need to be expensive either. This is another question that came up in advance of the webinar, how to implement these when you might not have a big budget for it. So we had already built in a few examples for how to have experiential rewards, even if there's not a large budget to be lobbied against it. Rod, if you want to, yeah, there we go. So volunteering at Westside Baby is something our marketing team did last October. Tango's marketing team had our first in-person retreat in Seattle, Washington. It was a week-long meeting where the team decided to schedule some time to enjoy a shared experience and also give back to the community. Jared, our VP of the marketing team, said that we really wanted to spend time volunteering together during our trip to Seattle, and one of our employees suggested Westside Baby. Their mission is to provide essential items to keep children safe, warm, and dry by collecting and distributing diapers, clothing, and equipment throughout West Seattle. Our team members help sort diapers, pack orders, and organize clothing items. It was an incredible experience that allowed our team to get to know each other and feel more connected. Bucketlist customer success offsite is also up here. Team offsites do a great job of building trust and psychological safety when they're set up properly, which is shown to help build a high-performing team. Last May, Bucketlist customer success team got together at the office for 2 days, an offsite full of brainstorming sessions, team bonding activities, and plenty of laughs. One way they build psychological safety and trust is through a team bonding exercise where each team member goes through a set of questions that cover the top 5% and bottom 5% of life. This set of questions is really great to help, excuse me, to help cover the high level subjects, such as where somebody grew up, if they have any siblings, and also covers real issues such as challenging life experiences, big wins that people are proud of, as well as personal and professional goals. Bucketlist CEO and founder Jason Lindstrom says having team members share deeper aspects of their life helps to really deepen the relationships within the team. We always make sure to collect feedback from the team after we do these offsites, and many members have said it's their favorite session.
And I completely agree with that. I completely agree with Jason.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna bounce to the next slide, Rod, so that's something to pitch in. Great. So now that we've covered what experiential rewards are and why they're effective, let's dive into how you can begin implementing these experiences in your reward program. So as we've kind of hinted at, you can start small, and in fact, that's what we would recommend. The world of experiential rewards can be overwhelming, and as we've mentioned several times already in the session, have infinite, endless possibilities. It's okay to start small, especially if you've never done this before and have never given out experiential rewards. You can start by giving smaller ones, like a pair of movie tickets, as opposed to something more expensive, like a hot air balloon ride. You can also contribute a portion of an experience that an employee is already interested in or already planning, as opposed to covering the entire thing. And lastly, you can start by only giving experiential rewards for select recognitions, like anniversaries or annual goal completion. Once you have an opportunity to see how your employees engage and like these experiential rewards to determine what's working, it'll be easier to decide how to expand your experiential rewards program. We definitely recommend crowdsourcing ideas to get feedback. To ensure that these experiential rewards are going to work for your team, we found that it's best practice to just ask. When I was meeting with the Bucketlist team, I used an example of we were running a sales contest for a Traeger grill, which is an item that if you ask the team, not everybody has the ability to enjoy at the same level. Some people have backyards. I live in a condo and I couldn't put a Traeger on my deck if I wanted to. So that wouldn't have been a super valuable reward to me, right? So when you're looking for experiential rewards to offer, look to the team or the recipient for ideas and feedback. You can add just a few questions into an existing employee survey or have managers ask their teams about hobbies and interests. We also recommend a few golden rules to keep in mind. Experiential rewards are not a one-size-fits-all solution. Different people have different interests. A bungee jumping session may be a bucket list item for one person and absolutely terrifying for someone else. Be sure to offer a variety of experiences for people to choose from that would cover a variety of preferences. So thinking about your thrill seeker, your foodie, your creative personality, or somebody who's outdoorsy or a homebody, not all of those people are going to see equal value in all experiential rewards. Due to personal schedules and preferences, offering flexibility and the ability to choose when to redeem a reward is best. And now we'd love to kick it over to Becca to talk about how we can keep these rewards budget friendly.
Amazing. Thanks, Jazz. We did get a lot of questions. I think some people in the Q&A today too in the session are talking about what questions around budget. So hopefully this is a good slide for you. So we do see that budget is just such a common challenge when it comes to implementing an employee rewards program or initiative. But the good news is that experiential rewards definitely don't have to be expensive or cost a lot of money in order to be meaningful. So we've shared a couple of pictures here on some low cost ideas. We have a client who has goats involved in their work. And so you can redeem and name of the goats. It's a really fun thing that can be really meaningful for a lot of people. It's kind of like leaving your legacy behind. There's the classic pie supervisor in the face. And this one, thanks for sharing this one with me, Rod. I've never heard of this one, but I believe the client works, they're a water park. And so pushing the supervisor into a pool can also be a really fun reward there that is meaningful for that team just because of the industry they're in or what they do. We've brainstormed a couple of other examples too, maybe like just mentioned before, a pair of movie tickets, not too terribly expensive, but if it's a movie they want to see, it could be really fun. And even team events like volunteering activities can be also really impactful experiential reward. So Raj, don't mind hopping over to that next slide there. We were hoping to do a little group activity with everyone here. Since this low cost / no cost thing is just such a big question, big topic right now, we thought it could be really fun to post this question to you all as a group today. So in your experience and your thoughts, what are some low cost / no cost experiential rewards ideas? And so the vision here, we'll pause here for a couple minutes. The vision is for us all to kind of input and share these ideas that we've seen, we have or done before into the chat. And afterwards, Rod, Jess, and I will take a look at them and we'll curate them, or not curate them, sorry, what's the word? Put them together into this fun little resource, and we'll share it out to you after the event in our follow-up email so you can keep it for future reference, just keep it as a souvenir from this super fun webinar that we've all been in together. So please don't be shy, you can push in your thoughts and ideas in the chat. Jess, Rodrigo, do you have any ideas that come to mind as we discuss this?
I just wanted to share a little bit more context on the pushing the supervisor to the pool. So yeah, as Becca mentioned, it is a water park, but I just wanted to say it's one of the most popular items that they have to redeem. And if you think about it, it's not expensive at all. Like the manager will get wet, that's it. So you can get really creative. And sometimes the least expensive experience or could be the most popular one. So you have that flexibility.
Oh, wrap a supervisor in cling wrap. That's the first time I've heard that one.
Thank you for
see what that looks like.
Something that we did at Tango, do at Tango in company meetings still as we've gone virtual since COVID is Kahoot Trivia. Are you guys familiar with that application? Yeah, it's been really fun for, varying levels of experiential rewards and team engagement and just like, fun.
That's that Rapper supervisor in Cling Wrap. That's amazing. Okay, so moving forward, our next slide.
This one's still me. But yeah, I know it can be a hard question, so feel free to pop your ideas in the chat box as we continue to wrap up this discussion. All right, last strategy we wanted to share today was just around automating these rewards. I'm sure many of you have had this experience if you've been running reward programs, but managing an employee rewards program manually can be super stressful and just ends up being quite a lot, especially as you're building out the super fun program. Lots of people are now engaging with it. You're adding more people to it. It can be a lot. And it can just definitely be hard to keep up with all the demands in a large company as well. And every time, if you're sending out a award for a birthday or a work anniversary, it just really adds up. I know each time you send something out, maybe it's 2 to 3 minutes, and maybe up to like 30, 40 employees doesn't seem too bad. But once you get up there, it could 2 to 3 minutes. Once you multiply that, it can be a lot of time out of your busy days. And so a great way could be eventually to standardize and formalize your program through automation with platforms like Tango or Bucketlist. And so if this is something that you're thinking about or want to learn more about, we'll definitely be sharing a little bit more about our respective platforms in a few slides. But for now, I'll kick it over to Rodrigo just to kind of wrap things up here today.
Perfect. Thank you, Becca. And moving forward, I'm really excited to learn more about, if you're excited to learn more about experiential rewards, you can begin implementing them with your organization. I'm going to be opening a poll for you. And if you'd like a copy also of our latest white paper on how you can elevate and personalize your employee experience with experiential rewards. You'll find even more great content there that dives deeper into different types of experiences, how and why they're effective. And it includes some more tips on how to start out with these type of rewards. So give me 1 second. I'll start the poll right now. Give me 1 second. Perfect. Can everyone see the poll? Excellent. And now a lot of answers coming into the poll. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to pull up a bit. Excellent.
Well, that's so exciting. It's always nice when people want to read the things we've created and put out into the world. So thank you all for your support.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Perfect. So I'll be ending the poll right now. And then moving forward, so a couple of summary that we saw in this webinar. So firstly, experiential rewards focus on giving people an experience that create lasting memories. And that's really important for a person as a whole and also as part of a company. Experiential rewards are impactful because firstly, they're more memorable than actually just receiving cash. It creates an experience, it creates a memory. It supports the whole person. It can also involve loved ones in the celebration. So it's not just you, it can involve someone else that you care about. And it can also involve a whole team, right? It also tracks the strategies to get started with this. If, as Jess mentioned, start small and you can offer low cost rewards. As we talked before, there are a lot of ideas and you can get really creative on low cost rewards. Crowdsource ideas for feedback. Be sure to offer a variety of choices and flexibility. As well as Jess mentioned, it's very simple to just ask. What does an employee want? It's really easy to ask. And then finally, automation. If you think about what Becca mentioned, how long would it take to give out a years of service award for a company of 2,000 employees? So all that time could be spent doing strategies, thinking more, analyzing, or understanding employee behavior. So automation is something really, really important as well. And moving forward, I'm gonna do another poll for everyone here. We're always looking to improve on our webinars, so we'd also love to gather some feedback from everyone. And let me Doing the poll right now. Give me 1 second. There we go. Can everyone see the poll now?
Yeah, totally. This is I think my favorite slide. Like, I really want to know in the comments, which topics resonated with people the most today. As we build out these webinars, we just really want to make sure that the content we're pushing out, it's resonating and makes sense. Maybe there's some other topics you would like for us to explore in a future event. So if you have any thoughts on either what you like today or what you want to see in the future, please tell us in the comments. And of course, if there's jokes that you really enjoyed that we should recycle for future events, please let us know too.
Amazing. Thank you everyone for all the answers to the poll. I'm going to be ending the poll right now. Perfect. And then moving forward, Becca, would you like to talk about this one?
Yes, I will. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. So as I touched on briefly before, Bucketlist Rewards is a platform that makes it easy and fun for employees and managers to both recognize each other as well as reward each other for those important milestones, achievements, and a job well done in general. And so if you're interested in seeing how our platform can help to increase employee engagement and facilitate the giving of those experiential rewards for employees, we'd love to chat. And yeah, let me know in the next poll. Rodrigo can feel free to pull that up if you like to kind of connect with us. You can just yes on the poll.
Second.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
Pulling that up, and as you're responding, even if you're not looking for rewards and recognition right this second, you'd be happy to share any resources we have that might be helpful to you. So just let us know if you're interested in connecting. We'd love to chat more.
Excellent, and a lot of answers to the poll. I'm just going to leave it up for a couple more seconds. There we go. Excellent. I'll be ending the poll right now. And then one final poll question for everyone. And Jess, handing over to you.
Yeah. If this is your first interaction with Tango, we are the rewards and payments people. Our solutions make rewards easy to send and awesome to receive, with a reward catalog full of more than 1,000 gift cards, prepaid cards, even charitable donations. With Reward Link, which is our most popular solution, your recipients get to choose their own reward from our catalog and redeem it instantly through email. And in most cases, you're only paying the value of the reward you send. So no added costs on top of the investment you already intended to make in your employee. If you'd like to walk through the Tango dashboard and learn more about how we make rewards easy, we would love for you to let us know in the poll on the next slide.
So just thank you, and I'll be starting that poll right now. So feel free to respond to the poll. I'm going to leave it up for a couple of seconds. And thank you all. A lot of answers, a lot of engagement. Thank you for that. We really, really enjoy that a lot. Excellent. So I'll be ending the poll right now. Perfect. And moving forward, so as I mentioned before in the agenda at the beginning of the webinar, everyone's going to earn these credits for credential holders. In order to maintain your credential, you can copy and paste the activity ID here for both credits. On Becca, you can confirm this, but we'll follow up also with credits in an email after the webinar.
We'll be doing that, and I'm just copying it into the chat box right now for folks to paste over.
Amazing. Thanks for that. And then to finalize, if you want to connect with us via LinkedIn, feel free to follow us in LinkedIn. We would love to continue the conversation there. Also, you can follow our company and Tango on LinkedIn for future events and resources. And now we're going to open up the session for questions. We have a lot of questions and comments. So 1 second here.
I just want to echo that. Thank you everyone for being here today, for engaging with us. It was super fun. I hope you all had a good time as well and had some ideas that you can hopefully take away. And as Rodrigo mentioned, we did get a lot of pre-submitted questions as well. So maybe to be fair, we can do a couple of those ones first and then some from today's live session. How does that sound?
Perfect. So I got a
I
call.
think there's a good amount of overlap. I think we'll have the opportunity to cover most.
We love that. We love a challenge. All right,
Yeah.
Rod, you can decide which ones we start with.
Yeah, no, I'm actually at it right now. So firstly, how can you encourage employees to participate in a company reward program?
Ooh, this is a really great question. Jess, did you want to start or should I?
I'm gonna let you start. I think I have a piggyback on what I anticipate you're about to offer.
Okay, sounds good. I had I think a 3-part-ish answer to this. So and Rodrigo or Jess, feel free to chime in where you would like to add some color. But I think the first part, I think peer-to-peer initiatives are a really great way to get people to participate. So there's a lot more people now to be able to do things and to participate and all that good stuff. And I think it's also a good way when you're seeing peers or leadership or management doing certain actions. It's a good role modeling too, so you know what behaviors are expected, how to get involved. It's a lot more clear as to what you're kind of supposed to do to be able to participate, because I find that a lot of times people forget, right? There's so much going on, there's so much to do, there's so many programs happening in a company, and so constant communication and promotion, just role modeling what that program does and what it looks like is really important. Jess, Rod, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on that peer-to-peer thing. I think that is the most impactful way to make rewards part of your culture. Tango has a really easy and high budget, admittedly, peer-to-peer rewards program where anytime we want to give somebody kudos inside Tango, like I have been really leaning on my sales ops manager super hard this week, and she's been doing a ton of extra work. And we've set up an integration in our Slack where I can give my sales operations manager a $10 reward link, our choice product, as a thank you. And that really, it encourages it to be a part of everybody's day-to-day, like I said, culture and actions. The other thing is, I wanted to tap back to a point that I made earlier in the webinar, making sure that these connect with people. So whether it's the amounts or the experiences or the content of what you're providing to people, make sure we're not missing that piece of making sure this is actually valuable to your employees. Like the branded mug, you guys all really resonated with that comment from an earlier slide. So just making sure it's going to connect with the recipients that you're looking to engage.
I love what you said about making things a habit. Like, I think that's just so important. It's little things you do every day that gradually it just becomes second nature, like muscle memory in a sense. So love that point you brought up.
And on that note about habits, Jennifer actually has a really, really good feedback on the chat box. So they have a platform, peer-to-peer platform as well. They send a calendar to everyone for Feedback Friday, which prompts them to go into their Bucketlist platform, since they have a really robust peer-to-peer reward usage. So these are the sort of things that could actually help with habit, allowing your employees to go into a platform to reward. And so thank you for that feedback, Jennifer.
Yeah, totally. I'm coming to this conversation also with a marketing background. And so we have this saying where it's, you have to tell someone something 7 times before it kind of sticks. And it sounds like a lot, but that's just, especially with this world now where everything's just so busy, so much information is coming to us at once. It's just so important for that constant communication, constant visual to see exactly what's going on. And in this case, if it's like a rewards program you want to make sure people are engaging in, it does take a lot of communication to make that happen.
Awesome. We have another question, really interesting, from Kaylee. Can professional certifications be considered personal development if the person wants it and the employer doesn't care one way or the other if they have it? That's a really good question. Any comments, Becca or Jess?
Jess, I'll let you start on this one.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what I just contributed a minute ago, I think if that's what the employee is asking you for, if they really want this, that personal development can also be professional if it's something that they're telling you, hey, I want to do this for me. I think that's a perfectly fair reward. I think what we encourage at Tango, and I think the theme of this presentation, is really finding ways to complement the whole person outside of their professional persona. But again, if they're telling you that's what's most valuable to them, I think it's a perfectly reasonable consideration.
Totally. I want to piggyback off of that one as well, like tying it back to the theme today of experiences. A lot of things I do believe should be considered as experiences, and learning a new thing, no matter what it is, definitely I think is such a great experience, and it enriches you as a whole person, like you said, Jess. So I think that's a very powerful reward and a great idea, Kaylee.
Awesome.
And Kaylee, if you have thoughts too, of course, you can pop into the chat and we can talk about it some more.
Excellent. And I know we're a little bit over time, so just I would say last question here. How can we offer experiential rewards in a remote global company, considering that we have people all around the world? That's an excellent question. Becca, Jess, any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. So I'd offered a couple of suggestions in the chat. Early in COVID, Tango was doing a lot of culture activities virtually. So I'd put that we have done craft, mixology, and cooking classes. So to really make those complete, not just are we sourcing a professional to help lead these classes in a set time that everybody can participate, but we were also providing some amount of stipend for the supplies that they would need to participate, so that they can, all join and do an activity together. Something that I have implemented in practice with my sales team, it was typical, we're getting together and traveling at this point, but during the part of COVID where nobody in Tango was traveling for work purposes, it was typical for us in the pre-COVID times to get together for a meal or a hangout once a quarter. And so I provided them a stipend for lunch or coffee for us to do that virtually together. It wasn't a work meeting. It was just time for us to sort of fellowship with each other and hang out and remember what it's like when we're not talking about work. So those are some ideas that I've really enjoyed.
I'd love to add to that as well, because we're I know some people in chat have shared that they're fully remote, and at Bucketlist we are as well. And a quick example for our holiday party, because we have so many people all over the globe, different hubs. So the social team just really tried to make sure that there were a lot of options for people. So yeah, similar to what you guys were doing, Jess, we've also just make sure that there's and the different hubs, major hubs we do have, there was like an in-person option. And then there's also for the whole company, like different online virtual options. And then we also added, to account for different time zones, there was like an earlier option and a later option for the virtual, so that no matter what your lifestyle was, you can kind of pick and choose which was the best one for you. And of course, if you would not like to attend or were unable to, that was totally fine as well. And I think what I really liked about that question too was experiential rewards in a remote global company. If you're talking about more like individual rewards, I can give an example talking to Bucketlists, the way we kind of do it, but it could be different for different people. And Rod, feel free to jump in. But on the marketplace where people are going in to redeem for the specific experience they want, it's kind of localized. So if someone's located in Vancouver, there are different options for different like brewery tours, ziplining, or whatever it is. And then if you're located in maybe Phoenix or Toronto or whatnot, like on the other side, there are different options available as well.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention, the question was two-part, virtual and global. Thank you, Ellen, for putting this in the chat. Tango has a global rewards catalog, so don't want to miss addressing the global aspect of that question.
Lovely. Excellent. So as I mentioned, we're a little bit over time, so we're going to be finishing the webinar right now. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar. We really enjoyed. Jess, Becca, thank you so much for all the amazing feedback, insight, really good information we had today. And I wish everyone has an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for joining.